ladies. Oh, I'm looking a little blurry. Bear with me a second. Boop. All right, that helps a little bit. Good Monday. Oh my goodness, it is September 9th and I am back in the center. I'm excited to be able to connect with you guys today. I'd love to hear about how all of you are. I went ahead and tagged you guys because what I'm realizing is a lot of the Mindset Mondays, Facebook's algorithm has made it where the videos are not being seen in the group. So that's why I was tagging you guys to hopefully have you guys see it a little bit more. Hello, Heather. Thank you for joining. I'm glad you're here. So we're going to talk a bit about focus today and getting to a place of reclaiming your focus if you're feeling like, wow, the summer didn't go as easily as I hoped or as much momentum as I hoped. Now the kids are back to school. We are starting the second week of school for our kiddos at home, and so I know a lot of you guys have are starting to just get your feet back in soaking in the ground and just being able to focus in on you. So this is a great time to talk about focus. So there's a couple of things I want to take a look at when we talk about maybe a question is like, I know what I need to do, but I'm not doing it. So the biggest thing is to take a look at, is whatever you're expecting of yourself realistic? You know, that's the first place. Are we expecting to make a huge changes all at one time? Are we expecting to have massive weight loss? So taking a look at what you're expecting is the first thing. It's much more helpful to decide to be committed to one new healthy habit and really be committed to that and connect with your why and really have that be in alignment with where you want to go, and one new commitment. So a fun thing to be able to do is to get a calendar. Any old calendar will do, and give yourself a dot, a sticker, a star, whatever it is, every time that you complete that new behavior, that new habit. Now, this requires to let go of judgment because you're not going to be 100%. There's going to be days when you may not get a sticker. But I tell you what, this is something that really has worked for a lot of clients that we've done groups like that in the past, where every day they move their body, they get a check mark. And this is something I love to do whenever I'm like, okay, I need to work on adding this new habit in. I'll pull out my calendar and just get some fun markers and give myself a dot or a star every time I do that new habit. And it just is something that gives that reward that helps to create that new habit loop. If you go back to, I think it was maybe it was session 6 when we talked about habits, you can go to the units tab of this Facebook page and watch session 6 about how to create new healthy habits. And we need that reward. So that's one of those things, is reclaiming your focus might mean to focus on one new habit that you really want to implement, getting clear on your why, not for weight loss. That can be a side effect, absolutely, but not for weight loss. So let's just say maybe your new healthy habit might be to move your body more. Well, why would you want to do that? If it's not for weight loss, because those two don't go together, maybe it is so that you feel stronger in your body. Maybe it is so that your body just feels better. Maybe it is for your mental health, that you know that you just feel more grounded and planted and enthusiastic about life because you move your body. There's literal physiological and endorphins that we get when we move our body. And that could just be moving your body for 10 minutes. It could be moving your body gently for 30 minutes. It doesn't have to be this big workout. And in fact, I really recommend to pull the reins back there and start where you are, and something that feels realistic and obtainable, and not this I have to amp myself up type of feeling. We don't want that, because that's a sign it might be an unrealistic expectation. But we want it to feel more like, oh, I can do this. Okay, all right, it's going to take some intention and some effort, and I can do it. So that would be something that I would love to invite you to do. And if you are watching the replay, I want to take a moment to just go ahead and comment below #replay so I know you watched the replay. I would love to see that. So if you're watching the replay, you're not here live and you're watching the replay, hashtag right now, hashtag replay. That would be awesome. I'd love to see who is watching these, and so we can have conversations about that as well in our private sessions if you have questions. So what might be a new healthy habit you'd want to do? We talked about this a few weeks ago, so it's a good time to just check in now that it's been a couple of weeks, and how are you doing on that? If you want some ideas of what maybe one new healthy habit that you might want to focus on, you can go to the 8 Essentials for Vitality, which is in session 7. So you can get an idea of what might be some habits to focus on. And we want to keep doing those habits until it feels like, okay, this is becoming second nature to me. I don't have to amp myself up. I don't have to focus overly on it. It's just becoming something I want to do, and it's becoming natural to me. So keep doing them, whether that is 21 days, which science disproved that it takes 21 days to form a new habit. 66 days is another study, and also all the way up to 265 days of doing that same habit. So the whole idea is that it's not going to happen overnight. So whatever the number is, with how many days we need to do it, just get a calendar, choose what your habit is that you want to focus on, get clear on your why, of why you want to do that, and give yourself permission to just simply focus on that one new habit until that becomes easier. Now, here's the thing, is that when we focus on one new habit, guess what happens? Sometimes other new habits naturally fall into place. So for example, if I'm choosing to move my body more, well, it might inspire me to drink more water so that I'm hydrated when I do work out, right? And so I'm getting more water in without really having to think about it. It might inspire me to pack my lunch the night before and snacks so that I have balanced blood sugar levels, so that I feel energized because I'm eating enough to move my body if I'm moving my body later in the day like I like to do. It might mean that I want to go to bed earlier because if you're a morning exerciser, you know, that might inspire you to do that. And your why is what's going to drive all of this. So that's what's important, is whatever new habit you're choosing to implement. Hi, Betty. Great to see you. Whatever new habit you're choosing to focus on, we want it to be something that brings you joy, that it's really in alignment with your values and your why. Okay, so it always starts there. Before you decide, I'm going to do this new habit, pause and notice and get clear on why are you wanting to incorporate this new habit and cultivate this new habit. Okay, so those are some tips about how to reclaim your focus. Reclaim your focus is getting back to letting yourself have realistic expectations. Focus on one habit. What would happen if you moved your body every day or most days for 30 days and that got easier? It's like, okay, that got easier. And then you move to the next thing. Maybe it was to add in more veggies, and then that got easier. If we focus on adding in new healthy habits and really have one become natural to you, then we move to the next one, and that one becomes natural to you. Over time, yes, it takes time, but over time, having more of a singular focus like that will be able to help you create more of that lifestyle and sustainable new healthy lifestyle and side effect of weight loss. And that's all realistic. It's when we want to do all these changes all at one time that it does not become realistic. So that's the first part that I wanted to talk about today. Was the number one way to reclaim your focus is to get realistic and focus on one thing. The next part about it is if you're feeling like, oh, I don't know, I'm overwhelmed, there's another piece I wanted to talk about here. And I feel like almost all ladies get to this place. I have gotten to that place as well, and sometimes still do. And so it's taking a look at that overwhelm. And whenever I hear a client say, I just feel overwhelmed, I feel so overwhelmed, a couple of things we can do is, number one is to take a look at the emotional state. What is going on emotionally? Are you overextending yourself? Are you not sleeping well? Is there some emotional stuff that's not being dealt with in your life, whether it's a conversation you need to have with somebody, whether it's maybe having some discord going on in your marriage, or with a family member, or with a friend, or maybe not enjoying your job. You know, what's going on that might create an emotional state where you feel overwhelmed. And we want to look at that and really dive into using the emotional tools, specifically the emotional unload. That one will help you break through, or at least ease some of the emotions. And you can go through that in like 2 minutes, or you can take an hour. You know, just depends on what feels good for you. So my morning routine, it's nice to have bookends in the day so that you are processing through a lot of that emotional stuff. So in the morning, I like to get up typically around 5 a.m. on the work days, and I am just free journaling for the first 10-15 minutes, just getting it all out. And then I move into an emotional unload, and I say, okay, Emmy, what do you feel most stressed about right now? What do you feel most stressed about today? And I'll choose to do an emotional unload there if I don't feel like the first page of just free journaling has resolved and gotten me to a brain state 3 or higher. If I'm still kind of, I'm a bit stressed, I'm going to do an emotional unload. And that takes maybe a page at most. Especially when you do them regularly, there's not a lot to do, so they get quicker, right? And so after that, then I'll do my daily boost. And it just is a really, and then track my new habit that I'm doing. And I get up in the morning, I'm like, ooh, I get to get my star or my sticker. And it helps me actually get up in the morning. So that is an example of when we can have a keystone habit, whether it is having a new morning routine and taking out the emotional stuff, whether it's moving our body, maybe it's adding more veggies in, maybe it's getting more sleep, whatever it is for you. But choose one habit that will naturally start to have the other things unfold for you. And super important, give yourself permission and rebuke any thought of, oh, and now I'm going to take that on and I'm going to do that one too. So what that might sound like is, oh, wow, I've noticed that I've been eating more veggies lately since my keystone habit is moving my body, let's say. And I'm giving myself a star or a sticker or whatever it is on my calendar every day. I move my body for 30 minutes or more, let's just say, okay? And then I notice I'm eating more vegetables because I want to feel energized and I want to feel like enjoying that moving my body. And I think, wow, maybe I'll add that one on too. Maybe I will focus on adding in more veggies and I'll track that. You can track it, absolutely, go ahead, but let go of the expectation that that is the habit you're really going to focus on, right? Because that is how that perfectionism, that all or nothing can kind of creep in and take over. So I really want you to say, nope, if I do it, great. Absolutely, I could keep adding veggies in, but what I'm focused on right now is my keystone habit, and I'm going to do that. And if I feel inspired to do these other things, absolutely, fantastic. I'll do that because I'm doing it out of love for myself. So I hope that makes sense. I hope that's helpful. I'd love for you to comment below about what your one healthy new habit you're working on incorporating right now in your lifestyle. And if it's the same one that we talked about a couple weeks ago, which hopefully it is, which is awesome, then just put it in the comments below also, and that can be a way of you recommitting to that one new healthy habit, okay? So those are the couple of things. So if we kind of review, I have one more thing I wanted to share with you guys today. Number one is to take a look at setting realistic expectations and focusing in on one new healthy habit at a time. The second one is take a look, is there any emotional just junk and trash that's piled up that needs to be taken out so that you can take a deep breath and you can actually feel inspired and willing to do that healthy behavior. And then the third thing I wanted to talk about is let's have that supplement talk. Some clients, yes, we're going to be having the focus. Yes, we're going to be doing the emotional stuff. And yet there just feels like it's a blockage. And so that's where I just want you to take the shame out of that and take a look at your supplements. So I have 3 supplements that I wanted to just share with you guys today. The number one is the focused attention. This one has some great things in here: DMAE, L-glutamine, and a ginkgo leaves concentrate. These are things that's not going to give you like this coffee energy. We don't want that. But this is going to help with supporting the dopamine pathway, which helps with focus. Which helps with focus and enjoying life. And guess what, ladies? It's directly connected with food cravings. So if we don't have enough dopamine in our body for whatever reason, then what can happen is we are feeling anxious because our mind is circling and not closing in on a thought. It's not completing things. We're not finishing things. We are craving sugars, carbs, and all sorts of foods that are not healthy for us because our body's trying to get a dopamine hit from those foods. And Jennifer's saying, love the focused attention. That's so awesome. Yay. It's good. It's really good. And also another one can be a low libido. And then again, just really having a lot of cravings and overwhelm. So if those are symptoms for you, it might be something where we want to take a look at some support with the neurotransmitters. And of course, you can always talk to your doctor to make sure that they're in alignment with what you need. But the thing I love about this blend, the Focused Attention from Nature's Sunshine, is that it's herbs plus amino acids, and that combination is very powerful. So this is a really good one to take. Another one that can be really helpful, it also comes in a powder form. So if for those, ooh, where's lighting? Kind of there. So for those of you who feel like, I don't want to take a pill, but maybe the powder, this one's really good for the powder, and it has inositol in it. And in addition, so the formulation is just a little bit different, but inositol, guess what it does? It's an amino acid that helps with balancing blood sugar levels. It also helps with the dopamine pathway in addition, and it also helps the hormones be more effective and the conversion of hormones. So it doesn't make more hormones, it doesn't let go of hormones, it just helps you be more efficient with the converting of the hormones so that you can utilize them better, which is awesome, right? So let's not have hormonal issues. And the other one I love using with clients as well is SAMe, and Nature's Sunshine has a really great one with that too. You would want to keep that one in the refrigerator. So SAMe, capital S, capital A, capital M, lowercase e, that one is also a really great one, and typically that is going to support serotonin and dopamine. It's also a really good methyl donor, so if anybody has a little bit of MTHFR or doesn't detox easily, that's a great one. Here's the caveat, ladies. If you have bipolar, or if you're thinking about wanting to recommend these to any family members, if you have bipolar 1 or bipolar 2, then we don't want to use SAMe. And of course, you'd want to be talking with your healthcare provider about these types of things when we have a mental health condition like that. So those are a couple of those. So that's all the dopamine. And dopamine is so key to cravings. And if you're just feeling like you're hitting your head up against a wall, and I'm working on getting out of the diet mentality, but I'm still craving food, and I feel overwhelmed with menu planning, or I feel overwhelmed with just creating one new healthy habit, whatever it might be, that overwhelm is a good sign that either we need to just get back to some basics, which is to focus on one new healthy habit at a time. That's the first tip. The second tip is to take a look at what's the emotional trash that might be piling up that's creating that overwhelm that we need to release, and we can do that with some of the emotional tools you're learning here. And then the third one is that we might want to take a look at the supplements and see what, if any, might be really helpful for you. So the idea is that you would have one of these dopamine supports. So you could do, some clients actually do the Focused Attention and SAMe because this has a lot of herbs in it. I don't think you would, so the SAMe Focused Attention, oh, and then Nature's Sunshine has the Mind Max. That's the one I wanted to talk about, which I don't have that one in front of me. But the Mind Max with Nature's Sunshine is a really great blend of several different phosphatidylserines, which is a precursor for choline, which is a precursor for the choline, which is a precursor for the catecholamines. Lots of big words here. Catecholamines, which is those calming neurotransmitters. So that might be another one to try. So the focused attention in either the capsule form or in the powder form. You can also try the Mind Max or the SAMe. And so you can just get a few of them if you want and just try them, or try one, try them for a few days. It's best if you take them on an empty stomach because it just makes them more accessible. And then if you feel like, oh, you know, it's not really doing much for me, you can either increase the dose a little bit or go to the next one and see if the other one works better for you. Because a lot of times it's going to be where we're going to find one is going to work for one client, and another client it may not work at all, and another client might be, wow, this is life-changing. We want it to be where these types of things become easier. And when we get the supplements right, what ends up happening is clients are like, whoa, this is how life is? Oh my gosh, wow, this is how I should be feeling and being? This is amazing. So this is just one piece of the puzzle. Of course, we still need to look at the emotional stuff. We still need to have the right mindset and taking it one step at a time. But if you're really focused, if you're really noticing that you're having some of those symptoms I mentioned before, overwhelmed, emotional about things, over a lot, really sensitive and emotional, if you're feeling anxious because you just can't complete a thought, if you've got low libido, if you're feeling just that you just can't complete tasks, and a lot of food cravings, specifically sugar, carbs, or even just food in general, that is a good sign that we want to take a look at the dopamine pathway to see what might need to be supported there. So I hope that this has been helpful for you guys. Those are the 3 things we can take a look at to helping you reclaim your focus. And so until we connect again, you are invited to stop dieting and start living. And I'll look forward to talking with you soon. All right, bye.